So hey friends, welcome to this week's video. This week is gonna be more of first impressions. I just got these in the mail the other day, and yeah, the Galaxy Buds Pro, yet another device that used that nomenclature of Pro. Again, it's something where that's become the standard, but we have to see if they actually meet those needs. They're wireless earbuds, so I don't have any confidence in the fact that they are actually for pros or professionals, but who knows? Maybe they have something special. If you haven't been into the Samsung earbud sort of scene, they usually come in like $100. Pretty decent price point. They're really great with connectivity and have pretty solid isolation. So they have had the Buds, the Plus, the Live, and now the Pros. The Lives seem to have the best sound signature, but zero isolation and active noise canceling. The Plus has been kind of in the go-to standard for people if they opt into the Samsung lineup, but the Pros hopefully get us somewhere further along the lines. But before I talk too much about it, let's just get into the specs and see what it is out of the box. Small earbuds, small packaging. There's really nothing special that is inside the Galaxy Buds Pro box. You really just get the case, the cable, and additional ear tips. There's not going to be a charger here, just like most devices in 2020 and 2021. Samsung has created an extremely attractive package here, and while it does come in a variety of phantom colors, the violet is the most striking to me. The case is well designed and it maintains a solid holster of the earbuds through both strong magnets and snug moldings. You won't have to worry about the earbuds being loose and not charging. Speaking of charging, it has a 5-minute quick charge, key wireless charging, and USB-C charging, which you can top up after about 2 hours. The earbuds themselves are a mix of matte and metallic design notes, which follow Samsung's design aesthetic for their new phones. The shape is relatively simple, with no hooks or wings for security. However, the shape is comfortable in my ears, and it gives us a solid seal. I have read that some reviews are telling me that there is some long-term comfort and fit concerns, so comfort is going to be one of those things that I key in on during the full review. In ear, the Galaxy Bud Pros look great. They don't protrude too much, they have enough flash to stick out from the sea of competitors, and the curves make it look more natural in the ear. Again, so far in short testing, the buds have been comfortable and maintained a secure fit even through mild jogs and burpees. So no complaints so far. Connectivity has been super solid, even when walking away from my devices. Samsung's seamless connection feature is also some of the best device switching speeds I've seen, right up there with the Jobbers. This made it really easy to consume media throughout the day without a loss in step. Through testing with YouTube and playing games on my phone, Samsung's proprietary codec seems to be providing pretty low latency, and I haven't seen much issue with sound and image getting out of sync, whether I'm watching a movie, watching a podcast, or playing a highly dynamic game. Moving to the controls, Samsung uses touch taps and holds for its gesture suite. For the most part they're reliable, but I'm still getting used to the tap speed it's looking for. I'm having some mispresses, but I'll see if that improves as I get used to it. The controls are as follows. Single tap to wake the device, or play or pause music, double tap to go next song, or answer or end calls, and triple tap to go previous song when listening to music. Note that there's not a differentiation between the left and right earbuds, it's just the same on both sides. As we talk about holds, that comes down to a custom function and pairing features. In the app, you can adjust what the hold will do, and here's where you can set a different feature per earbud. For me, I chose volume up and down controls, but you can also set it to a voice command or a noise switch feature. From a sound quality perspective, they sound pretty good. Nothing mind-blowing out of the gate, but a very friendly sound. I will say that it's bass boosted somewhat, and the bass is not the clearest stock out of the box. However, you can tune that with the equalizer in the app. I did notice that choosing dynamic, clear, or treble boost gave me the best output in terms of music quality. It also made the bass punchier, as well as the overall sound more crisp. After switching away from the normal equalization mode, I'm having a lot of fun listening to funk and bass lines with these headphones. In my full review, I'll be putting a ton more hours of listening to make sure that this works across genres. And I'll also include some sound samples so that you guys can hear the quality for yourself and get a better sense of how this stacks up to competition. For now, after spending a couple hours of dedicated listening on a snowy weekend in Boston, I can say that the sound signature is versatile and will be pleasant to most people, especially after tuning. Now getting to the app, there are some nice added features like block touches and Find My Earbuds to help with day-in-the-life conveniences, but why we're really here is to look over the sound features. Before we get there, I do want to note that these earbuds do have a separate plugin that is needed in addition to the Samsung Wear app, so don't forget to download that. Also, there's already updates from a firmware perspective to improve active noise cancelling, ambient sound modes, and some other features, so make sure that you're up to date if you're testing these for yourself. Being all updated, we can finally look at the ANC features that Samsung has to offer. Samsung has a high and low mode on their active noise cancelling, but so far in testing, I'm guessing most people are going to be in the high mode for the most part. In terms of effectiveness, I found that the ANC is effective against low humming noises. However, for high-pitched squeals and machine noises, they do find their way in, and that was really obvious to me when I was taking the T or the transit train to my friend's house for the Super Bowl. Shutting the ANC off, I can tell that the ANC is decent, but it doesn't change the isolation like a Bose or Sennheiser earbud might, so this is definitely something that I'll have to compare in the full review. Samsung's ambient sound comes in 4 different flavors, and in all modes, they do a solid job at blending inside and outside noises. Voices do come a bit digitized, especially on the higher end of the spectrum, but nothing that would break your experience overall. Samsung does advise you not to cover the outside microphones when using extra high mode because it could cause some feedback or squeals from the microphones. So again, something to keep wary of, especially in these winter months. So I'm editing this in post and I realized I forgot to say something extremely important about the ambient sound mode, especially on extremely high, is that it's absolutely insane. It's similar to the feeling that I got with the Neuraloops where I just heard everything really close, like I could almost eavesdrop on people. It's that same sort of God mode hearing. It's a little bit more digitized and less natural than the Neuraloops, but it's that same sort of ever-present hearing. So I don't know if you guys have watched movies or comics where like the character has, gotten God mode or gotten God powers or has received all the knowledge in the universe. But basically what happens is that there's too much stimuli. You just know too much and you don't know how to handle it, and our feeble human brains can't handle all of that knowledge, so dude ends up going insane or offing himself because of that. And I think like there's this comic book in the DC universe with Batman who like sits on a chair that is all knowledge, and he's like the only human that can handle all that knowledge and make decisions because he's Batman. But again, most people aren't Batman, and we use headphones to take away that stimuli, to simplify our lives, make it through a loud and hectic day, and get that isolation. So activating this takes that all away and does the opposite. You get every sound, you taste every noise. It is so close to your ear, and you can hear for ages. It just sounds like I have like echolocation hearing, just like perfect hearing. I can hear everything for miles, and that's literally too much. So I'm guessing most people will be living on medium. If you're a commuter, especially on a bike, this might be good because you could hit every car in a 5-mile radius. But otherwise, yeah, it's the crispiest thing I've ever heard, and it's a little bit too much. But anyway, let's get into voice detect? Yeah, let's get into voice detect. Lastly, the voice detect feature is one of my favorite things that they've added on this headphone. It's just very well done, and I need to show you guys how quickly this works. But this is to test the actual active voice control, just to see how quickly it kicks in, and obviously you saw that happened within a couple seconds, and it's super clear. I could have a natural conversation, and nothing would really seem like it's blurred or sort of muffled. So I'm going to stop talking and see how fast it deactivates. It should be within 10 seconds. And boom, we are, oh, sorry, I started talking again. Damn it. Let it deactivate again. Okay, so now it's deactivated, but yeah, 10 seconds. It's pretty responsive. I found that this is really reliable and it works all the time. So no props, but props to Samsung for figuring out that in a sophisticated manner. So something else I forgot to mention is that if you are someone who sings, to yourself while you have headphones on, you're gonna hear yourself. So you might sound worse and you'll realize how bad your voice actually is. But yeah, that might be a downside for some people, that the voice detect will, make you hear yourself when you're singing along to songs. But you can always deactivate it through the app, so there's that. So yeah, just a little bit simpler review than normal. This is just the first impressions of how this felt out of the box. Overall, it's been a pretty comfortable headphones in the couple first days, and the sound signature is pleasant. However, I do need to compare these against other headphones and also run these earbuds through the paces, making sure that the battery rating is accurate, that the Bluetooth connectivity stays solid over different scenarios and different conditions, and all that sort of stuff that I normally do. So you have to give me a couple weeks, but I will be getting out to that. But again, comparison is going to be a big one for this next review. The whole reason why I did got these earbuds in the first place is because one of my viewers suggested it in the comments. And yeah, I think his focus was sound quality, so I am going to be bringing in the Neuraloops. And again, if you haven't seen that review, check above. It's one of my favorite wireless headphones. They're not true wireless, but they do have some thump and they do have some interesting features that make that unique from a sound perspective. And then obviously I'm going to do the Sennheiser TW2s. Not my favorite in terms of everyday performance, but from a sound perspective purely, it is great and it's very consistent and meets most of the needs, especially from a music perspective. So those two headphones are what I'm going to battle against these new Galaxy Buds Pro. So if you would like to see that comparison and the full review, please stay tuned, stay subscribed, do the bell thing, and then you'll see that come through your feed. But anyways, I appreciate you guys sticking out for this video, and if you're new here, please consider liking, subscribing, commenting, do all the things that you normally do on a video that you like and love. And if you're returning, keep up with me on my other socials, and keep sending those messages, because that's where I'm getting most of my ideas for these videos, and I'm really appreciating talking with you guys. It can be whatever. It can be about starting a channel. It can be about tech, whatever you need. I'm here. So yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, that's basically it. I'll see you next week. As always, appreciate you.